Hey everyone! If you follow me on Instagram, you might know that I have been on a little bit of a journey with my body hair. This is something that started about 1.5 years ago when I just started to have more curiosity around body hair, and I was becoming more aware of how I felt about my own body hair and also body hair on other women. Within the last 9 months or so, I have been growing out my body hair, and I've gone through different phases with that and a lot of different feelings, and I've shared pieces of this journey on Instagram. And the reason why I'm making this video is because the responses have outweighed everything else that I have ever talked about. And I've talked about some pretty touchy issues on my YouTube channel, on Instagram, but body hair really brought out a lot of passion in people, whether it was I am growing out my body hair and I'm on the same journey, or people who are on the other end of the spectrum, and also people in the middle. It just brought passion out of everybody. So I'm gonna start off with what my perception of body hair was like. So I have a list. These are the things that just dropped into my head. Dirty, gross, unfeminine, lazy, unkempt, smelly. I had an extremely negative response to seeing any body hair, whether it was like arm hair, underarm hair, leg hair, whatever hair. It was like this visceral reaction of disgust. I could not stand the lightest amount of stubble underneath my arms or on my legs. Pubic hair, that's like a whole world within itself. I felt like it was only okay to have a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of hair if I had any hair at all. Otherwise, it had to be completely smooth. Basically, if there was any hair below my eyelashes, I hated it. And the main reason why I stopped shaving and removing my hair in general was because I wanted to stop hating this natural part of my body. And I also wanted to not feel disgust when I saw other women and this natural part of their body. Ultimately, I really want to figure out what my relationship is to body hair without the influence of a broader culture and other people. I really want to figure it out for myself and figure out my deeper feelings. So what is underneath all of the initial uncomfortable feelings that I have about body hair? And I wanted to explore those. I'm going to take a little pause here in my story and run through a brief history, because this is something that was helpful for me in terms of just like navigating, especially the initial feelings of disgust. Plus, I also just think it's interesting. I am forever fascinated by things like this. It also helps create context around where my feelings have come from and also other people's feelings. We're gonna start way back 3000 BC. Yes, our relationship with body hair goes way back. Ancient Egyptians and Mesopotamians used to remove their body hair in order to fit a beauty standard. Does that sound familiar to anyone? They also removed hair to allude to cleanliness as well. In 2 BC, so a little bit more recent than 3000, the Roman poet Ovid writes that no rude goat find his way beneath your arms, and that your legs be not rough with bristling hair. What? Like, is there gonna be a goat coming for me? Shoot! This is one of my favorite not favorites. Favorite because I think this is a really great example of how far back the male gaze goes and how much it has informed female standards of beauty. Not favorite because of how far back it goes and how much the female standard of beauty is influenced by the male gaze. Moving on to around 1400 and the Renaissance period. Hairlessness during this time was often equated with class. And contrary to popular belief now, shaving is actually not hygienic. The only time it was really hygienic was during times when there were lice outbreaks. So this was a period of time where they were removing hair on their head, they were removing hair on their bodies in order to reduce the lice breakouts. In present day, that's not so much an issue anymore, thank God. And a little side note here, one reason that people today might still believe shaving is a hygienic practice is because razors are often sold in the hygiene aisles with toothbrushes, toothpaste, deodorant, when in fact, shaving is a cosmetic practice. But you never see razors being sold in the beauty aisle with all of the other cosmetics like makeup and nail polish and the optional items. Some people may think that's not a big deal, but I think it is, because when we walk down an aisle and it says hygiene and you see toothpaste and deodorant and then razors, it makes you feel like it's something you have to be doing in comparison to being in the beauty aisle where everything there is optional. And it has nothing to do with your hygiene either. Like putting on lipstick doesn't have anything to do with your cleanliness. In the early 1900s, underarm hair became unfashionable because sleeveless dresses were coming into fashion. And ads even told women that in order to wear these dresses, they had to shave their underarms. It was not even an option, like you just had to. Imagine if an ad today was telling you this. And they kind of do, just in a modern way. Same stuff, just packaged differently. In the 1940s and 50s, skirts and dresses started to get shorter. So can you guess what happened? Yep. Women started shaving their legs more. It's really interesting to see how body hair is following the path of fashion, as if something that's naturally happening to your body is a fashion trend or a fad. In the 1970s, there was a brief moment of rebelling against removing body hair as a feminist act. Then in the 1980s and 90s, pornography and fashion photography heavily influenced pubic hair. So we're really just making our way around the entire body. This made women feel like they had to remove their pubic hair, and this is also the time when Brazilian waxes became really popular. Today, Breanne Fahs, who is a professor of women's studies at ASU, says that 93% to 99% of women in surveys remove their body hair regularly. You don't see that kind of conformity to nearly any other social norm. I think that briefly sums it all up to give some context in terms of the history of body hair and our relationship to removing it, and also what is happening today and how this is a very accepted practice. So back to my experience. Right now, I'm feeling pretty good about it. You can see my armpit hair here. It's doing its thing. But when I first started seeing significant body hair on me, I would get really scared and really uncomfortable and really disgusted, quite frankly, and I would shave it off. And then I would feel all the feelings that you feel when you do something that you know deep down you don't really want to be doing, but you feel like you have to be doing. And so it's been quite complicated for me. It's also been surprisingly difficult to have this conversation in real life with people that I know. I have found that when I bring up my experience, I am met with defensiveness immediately, even though I'm only talking about my experience and I'm not telling them anything they should or shouldn't be doing, and I'm not telling them that they need to try this or what they're doing is bad. I'm fully keeping it on my experience alone. And really all I'm wanting to do is to explore the feelings that I have with people that I trust. And it's been a challenge to have these conversations be so difficult, but it's been a growing experience for me and also the people who are in my life. Now, when it comes to the internet, I actually was quite nervous to shoot this video today because I was like, dear Lord, like posting a photo on Instagram is one thing, but talking about it in a video is another thing. So Christina and I went through the responses from people on Instagram, and there were 3 types of responses that were the most popular. So here they are. It's really been a varied response. I know that people that I know personally have reached out to me saying that they are curious about their relationship to body hair. I know that I've seen that expressed in comments, but I also know that some people are very against having body hair. They don't want to have body hair, and some people don't want me to have body hair either. And now I feel like I am in a place where I know I want to have hair. Even on the days I'm uncomfortable with it, I know that the feeling passes, and overall, I'm liking my body hair more. At this point, I am not interested in shaving, waxing, laser, or anything that will completely remove my hair, but I have become curious about trimming. So like say with my armpit hair, I want to keep most of it, but what if I just want to like snip off a little bit? Like, do I use scissors? Do I use a trimmer? This is a whole new world for me. Also pubic hair as well. I want to keep it, but what if I just want to like skim some off the top? Just like just a tiny bit. What are my options? I'm like trying to figure that part out. Another common response is that not shaving would equal really, really bad odor. From my experience, I have not noticed any change in my body odor at all. It has stayed exactly the same, but it was also hard to get to this point because I was like so afraid of being extra stinky. Now that my hair is pretty long, I've just realized, oh, I smell exactly the same. Cool. People were also worried that it would be itchy, and I would say that the only time it was itchy was when I was getting past the stubble phase. Maybe like a week or two after the shave, it would be itchy because my hair was coming through. The actual growth of my hair was making me itchy, and then just like the prickliness of it at the beginning was a little bit scratchy, but now it's totally soft. I feel nothing. I literally don't feel anything at all. Same thing on my legs. It started off more prickly and now it's just kind of downy hair. It's very soft, so I'm cool with that. For the future, some things that I'm nervous about: summer and just, you know, being more exposed in general. Right now it's winter and I am pretty covered. I have little pieces of visible body hair that show every now and then. But in the summer, when I'm wearing tank tops and shorts and dresses, I feel like that's gonna be a whole new experience for me. And I'm planning not to alter the way that I dress in order to accommodate my body hair. So I'm just gonna dress the way that I want to dress and let my body hair show, and that makes me very nervous to think about. I'm just trying not to get too ahead of myself because it hasn't happened yet. I'm just trying to stay in the moment and be present with what's happening now. But just letting you know, I'm a real human being and I'm nervous about summer. That is gonna be it for my video today, but I do wanna let you know that I have some sources linked down below. They are articles that have helped me create this video, especially the historical timeline. They have really just comforted me. They've also made me angry and have made me want to change the way that the world views body hair on women. So definitely check those out if you are curious. And also just shout out to Breanne Fahs, who I feel like is my new hero. She is the women's studies professor that I quoted, but she has really studied body hair on women. If you are curious about what an academic has to say, definitely check her out. She is awesome. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I have more videos coming your way. I will see you guys next time. Bye.